Journalism in India comes with its own set of difficulties for a woman to sustain. She sustained, rather, she rocked it. She was one of the founding members of the team that launched NDTV India, our favorite Hindi news channel. She is Anjilee Istwal and she has been anchoring since more than 15 years. Her contribution towards raising awareness towards health, fitness, wildlife, and culture has been totally tremendous. I'm Shivani, and here we proudly open our first glass ceiling talk session with Anjilee Istwal.
So, hello everyone. I'm Anjilee Istwal and I work with NDTV. I work for the Hindi channel, NDTV India, and I do a little bit work for the other channels as well because I'm bilingual. दोनों ही लैंग्वेजेस में, दोनों ही भाषाओं में बहुत अच्छी तरह से बात कर सकती हूँ, कोई दिक्कत नहीं होती है, इसलिए I work for both the channels. But as Shivani told me, first of all, let me say sorry that for last week, I suddenly fell ill, so I had to cancel. But then thankfully she said that it's not a problem and we can do the session this week. So here I am. And when Shivani told me that she wants me to talk about breaking the glass ceiling, and well, it is not something that many women have done, not only in this country, but in this world. And it is obviously in this age and this time a very pertinent topic. And I was like, I really wanted to talk about it because I'm a bit of an activist in my office also. I will also tell you my experience, how it has benefited or at times harmed me, but what I think of it and what my personal experience has been. So first, can we get a... First, I'm going to show you a video of one person who has broken the ultimate glass ceiling. And she did it not only, we can say she's done it physically and metaphorically. And everyone knows her. And we saw her recently coming on stage in front of the entire world and actually breaking the glass ceiling. So let's just take a look at the video. We'll have the audio also. Anyways, the visual is more emphatic, so I think let's focus on the visual. This, of course, is the DNC conference where Hillary Clinton, for the first time, came upon stage, and this is how she presented herself. So it's not a topic that only we are talking about, but it is a topic that even one of the most powerful ladies in the world is talking about. So she came in front of the entire democratic electorate, and she said that she had broken that ceiling, and it was visually shown to everyone. So it is very symbolic that one of the strongest countries in the world might have a woman president, you know, and we might think that, you know, oh Lord, they're so whatever, we had a woman prime minister such a long time back. But we have to always remember that that person came from a lineage, already had a certain platform. Did we ever choose a prime minister who came from the masses, who was a woman? We do have certain leaders now. We do. We have Mayawati, who started from the bottom, and she is leading a party. And there are times when it actually looks that she might become one of the strongest leaders, but then it's politics. So it's really important to see someone like Hillary Clinton on the stage and saying that, you know, she is ready to break the glass ceiling, and that she said we put the biggest crack in the glass ceiling today. These are the words that she had used. So this is the video I wanted to show you, just to, you know, basically can you just pause the video? Get that attention and on the topic that we are talking about. Just switch to the Prezi. Okay. Anyways, so as I said, I wanted to talk about breaking the glass ceiling, and I want to talk about people who have come from, let's say, started from the bottom and then gone up to the point where they break the glass ceiling. And it's not because of the privilege of their birth, or it's not because of the privilege of anything, but they've worked their way to it. So in that aspect, some of the most important faces that you will ever see are these, you know, these are some of the most recognizable faces, I would say. One, of course, is from my own institution, so I can talk about that I have seen her do that, And the other is Sheryl Sandberg, who's also a very, very important person. And the thing that she says here, why I want you all to read, is she says, I want every little girl who's told she's bossy to be told instead she has leadership skills. Because it all doesn't start when you start working. It starts when you're born, when your conditioning starts taking place, when you're taught how to behave in front of people, your attitude is being molded. That is when it starts. So maybe you can make a change in yourself, but it is more important for you guys to make the change in your children, so that they can be the future leaders. So this thing that she says is very important, because most of the people who become leaders have been bossy as children. They would have bullied, or they would have been the kinds who would be the, अगर गेम खेल रहे हैं तो उसमें कैप्टन बनेंगे, और कैप्टन नहीं बने तो गुस्सा हो जाएंगे और सबको बताएंगे तुम क्या करोगे. So that is being what we say, you being bossy, but actually that is इसे हिंदी में कहते हैं कि पूत के पैर पालने में ही दिख जाते हैं. तो वो एक तरह का, it is an indication that this person is going to be a future leader. So maybe it is time to nurture something like that. So that is why I'm showing you. So this lady in our office, a lot of people call her bossy, but then she is the boss. So a lot of people on Twitter, on different stages and forums call her bossy, but that's it. You need that to be a good leader, to be known. So that is what I want to show you. And then of course with Sheryl Sandberg, because she has been a very inspiring person for most of the people, and then she has said some of the most important things, and this is what I felt was quite important. So anyways, what is it that we as grown women in a working space, which you must have also faced and I also faced, what do we need to change? I will tell you, for an example, it's very common that when you start working, let's say I also have a colleague who's my age, my experience. We started working together. We started both with Z in '99, and then I moved on to Aaj Tak. He continued with Z, and then we both met again in NDTV, and we've been together for a very long time. But there is the after spending a certain amount of years, I sometimes feel that a general feeling would be that a small thing, not that I like to be called ma'am, let me tell you, because I don't like to be, but there would be an attitude where I would be referred to with my first name, and a lot of the same people will call that person sir. So I am also a very friendly person, and so is that person actually, but a very interactive person. So I do not even encourage that sort of a behavior, nor does that guy. That is the important part, that person has never done anything to put me down or to portray a certain image, but it is the perception of the people that will always be like that. So sometimes it will affect your career, sometimes it won't affect your career. So that has not really affected my career, but I do make fun of it in office. Sometimes if someone says it, I'm going, "Acha, ye sir hai, main tumhare first name hai." But it's just a joke, but it shows something that there is a way that you treat women differently in office. Now, why does that happen? That happens obviously because of our own mindset, but can we change it? Can we make a difference to it? Yes, we can make a difference to it. We can make a dent at least. We may not be able to completely change it, but we can start making the change today. How do we do that? The mistake somewhere lies within us also sometimes. We as women are taught a certain behavior, and we tend to bring that into our workplace also. How? We do not like to network. What do men do? Men, after a good meeting, will go for I'm not saying go for drinks with people, but I'm just giving you an example. Go for a drink, okay, it's a backslapping. It's, you meet up with 10 people. Men will always, if you notice, they will network. We women tend to shy from networking. There is nothing wrong in the word bahut network karta hai. Don't think of it as a negative word. You should reach out to new people on a regular basis. Try and maintain relationships with them. And I will like to take an example of Shivani. She's been in touch with me for years. So she's good at maintaining her relationships, and that is a very good thing to do, both personally and professionally. In professionally, you never know where help would come from, or where your next job can come from. Or so networking is a good example. And not only should you personally network, use all the social media that you have. If you are on Twitter or you're on Facebook, or don't use Facebook to vent out silly things. Don't use it as a professional tool. Use LinkedIn. Use these tools. You never know where, because the world is more and more shifting into this virtual space, and it is important for you guys to network. So please don't shy away from networking, and don't think of it as a negative term. It is not. It is not. If somebody says कि वो बड़ा network करता है, तो that's the person's smartness. I think you should learn from it, not be negative about it. Another thing, we are always told never to be assertive in our personal life space, and that somehow we tend to bring to work also, because we will tend to do that. So we will not be assertive. We are sitting in a meeting, we will try to grab the corner seat. We will try to not speak unless and until we are directly referred to. That doesn't work. What happens is most of the perception that is coming is visual. Okay, so what people do is, if you're not seen, if you're not heard, you weren't there as far as they are concerned. You're not there in the meeting. You didn't exist. ठंडा है वो आदमी, वो कुछ करता नहीं है, initiative नहीं है. That kind of image will be formed. Even if you are assertive or over assertive, there might be people behind your back who will say, बहुत ज़्यादा aggressive है, बहुत ज़्यादा aggressive है. But again, don't be afraid of these things. There's nothing negative about it. There's a very good ad I saw, which I should have actually, I think it was Ponds or something. My cousin sister, she works for Coca-Cola, and she's immensely into women leadership. And she was telling me that she showed me an ad where it was, if a man spends too much time at work, he is working hard to earn for the family. But if a woman does the same, then she's too career oriented, whatever. So same perception of a man is taken differently for a woman. If a man ignores home and does not take care of the kids properly, again, the same thing, he's working hard. But a woman is being, is not taking care of the family. So these things are popular perceptions that we need to fight against. So assertive is one thing you need to be. Be loud. Yes, I know loud is not considered a good thing, but by saying be loud, I mean to say that don't let your voice get lost amongst multitude of people who are sitting there or in a meeting. If you have an idea, you say it, but it's so feeble that you don't register it properly. Same thing said in a more emphatic way by a person who is more confident or more loud will be heard better. And it's all about presentation also sometimes. Let's say I think we're having this big meeting. I think पीछे के 2 दरवाजे हमें unlocked छोड़ने चाहिए just in case of some emergency. Nobody heard you. But if the same thing is said by a properly said by a, let's say a man says it. So in my opinion, it is very important to have emergency situation in place. A backup plan should be there. Let's keep the 2 back doors open so that in case something happens, people can exit out properly from there. Same thing is being said, but in a totally different tone and a manner. And it's a possibility that the person might have heard it from you, but says it more loudly, and it's taken, the credit goes to the person. So very important to be loud and assertive. Now, it's also very important to be connected with your female colleagues. Okay, men also are very competitive, but women tend to be more competitive amongst women. More than other men, we tend to be more competitive amongst women. But I'm very glad to know that you guys have this group here, which shows that you guys are already talking amongst themselves. So I'll skip this because I know that you guys are already doing that. Now, when I say aim for a gender neutral atmosphere, what do I mean by that? Gender, there are, in India, we have less of gender neutrality. We do try to sort of give more advantages to the female gender. But when it comes to the workspace, beyond our HR policies, because which are required, it's usually not there. It will not work that way, because the work timings are such, or whatever, things don't stop because you are of a certain gender. So then you should also aim for a gender neutral work. I would say try and there are some genuine problems, yes, which women face, but try and not use them as a way of trying to get the easy way out. Because once you do that, you're not just hurting your career, you're hurting every single woman working in your organization, their career. When you use your gender as an excuse to probably get out of something or to explain something, that's where you are hurting not just yourself but every single person. So you have to take the responsibility and try and not damage everyone's work. Everybody works, but there are some people who go up because it's a pyramid. Some become leaders, some do not. So how do you become a leader, and how do you transition from being a follower to a leader? You might recognize certain faces that I will show you. This is the chairman of SPI, one of the most powerful women, according to maybe Forbes, I guess. This is Chanda Kochar, again, a very, very powerful woman. And all these women have risen over time. You don't see that this is not a person in a Gucci dress and a whatever. You can make out, she's an experienced person who spent time at her job. So is Chanda Kochar. She spent time doing that job and then gone to that position. So they had something different. They were hardworking. They didn't give any excuses. They had the killer instinct. And these are the people who are, that's why at this position. So you need to have that killer instinct, is what I believe, but not like that. So I don't know if you people recognize this person, but this is another very important and powerful person, but she's involved in a murder case called Sheena Bora murder case. So definitely not a killer instinct like that, because then the person gets branded in a certain way. Now if you talk about being a leader, of course you don't see leaders at a very young age. The instincts are there, the traits are there, but they do need the experience and they do need the time spent in an organization or in the industry to actually reach that point. So that obviously happens, and a person tends to take a lot of time to reach there. So be patient about it. Don't be in a hurry. From the time that I started in my office, I started as a reporter. After 2 years, I got the opportunity to anchor. First 2 years, it was just plain reporting, and which I enjoyed immensely. When I started anchoring to what I am now, there is a sea change. There's a huge change. And if I myself see my videos from that time, I would probably be like, what am I doing? But I thought I was brilliant at that point of time also. Seriously, I thought I was like God's gift to the media world. Everybody thinks so, but you actually, because you cannot judge your own self. It is very difficult to stand apart and judge your own self. So it is very important to spend time to have that patience to wait for things to come your way. As long as you play your card right and do all the right things, you will always get there. This I've just told you guys, and I'm really glad to see that. So this is Tina Fey. She's a very famous actress and comedian, and she had said this, that you're not in competition with other women, you're in competition with everyone. Just don't think that it's the women you have to compete against. That is again talking about making it a gender neutral thing. You have to be ready for competition with everyone. Now, this is also a very famous personality. Her name is Christiane Amanpour. She is a very famous CNN reporter and anchor who spent like about 20 years in conflict areas reporting from there. And in fact, a lot of times Barkha is referred to as the Indian Christiane Amanpour, because she has spent a lot of time in conflict areas. And now finally she's returned to the studio and she has started anchoring, and she's highly respected all over the world. Now, when you look at someone like her, you know that there is no shortcut. So, as I said, that it takes time. She has spent years in places where there were bullets all around, bombs going off, a human rights violation happening and everything. But she went through all that, spent years over there, and then reached that position where now she can ask for anything. She can, if she wants to be in the field, she can be in the field. If she wants to be in studio, she can be in studio. And when she says something, people take her seriously. So this is how, you know, women leaders look like. Women leaders look, I wouldn't say that they would be the most glamorous people in the world, but they would, you will see the grace on their face and you would know that how they are. Now, someone like her also did not have the best of environment in our offices. We would have our bosses choosing a male over a female over because of multiple reasons. You know, there might be instances where they will think कि उसको ज़्यादा आसान होगा, maybe she will have to stay back, it will be a problem. If I give her this work, she will have to put in an extra effort. Okay, she has a family, she has a child. A lot of times the bosses might be thinking that it is better for you not to do it, you know. So you need to constantly remind them. If you feel there is nothing wrong in having a work-life balance. If you choose to have a certain work-life balance where you feel that you want to put more emphasis on your personal life, there is nothing wrong in it. Work at the end of the day is the importance, or the reason you're doing it is to bring a certain amount of money home so that you can live in a certain manner. So it is your choice as women whether to focus on your career in a certain manner or not. Whether you want it to be a normal career, it's not actually, don't think of it as a binding on it. It is binding on you to do something and be something. It is not. It is your choice. You want to be a better mother, go ahead, be that. But if you, I'm talking about work, so I'm going to stick to that. So, but I want to make it clear that it is not important for everyone to do these things. Now, if you are going to if you are choosing to focus more on your career, let's say you do decide that no, I want to reach a certain position, and a lot of women do that, and they actually make personal sacrifices. They might delay having getting married, they might delay having babies, they might choose certain paths which are actually detrimental to their personal life. That kind of people are totally different, but you can strike a work-life balance, and you should try and achieve to do that. So when your bosses are thinking that, okay, the person is married, has a baby, has probably in-laws living over, has to take care, the bosses might be being too sensitive, and they might be thinking, छोड़ दो, रहने दो, let her, she won't be able to come, कहाँ सुबह आएगी, कहाँ late तक रुकेगी, and all that. Then if you are capable of it, if you think you are capable of it, it is your duty to inform them that yes, I can do it. Don't be under the impression that I cannot handle it. I can handle it. So you need to keep your bosses in that loop and keep them informed that I'm capable of doing this. That you don't need to treat me like a China doll or like a, you know, some delicate flower. I can handle it. So that is your responsibility. So consistently that information, that message needs to be sent out by you to your bosses that you are available for this job. They will not be, so that initiative has to come from you. It is, see, they don't have the time to, a lot of bosses do take the time to develop each person's career, but there are a multitude of people. So you have to rise above the din and tell them, yes, I am there and I am available to do this job, and I am ready to take on whatever a man can. So that is important from you guys. Be, of course, as I said, patience. After that, you have to be patient. Don't be like, not every day, don't be knocking at your boss's door and saying, I'm available, you know, no. So it has to be a consistent message, but with suitable time interval in it, you know, and maybe a hint dropped there or a hint dropped there. Maybe in a meeting when the person says, so who can do this, who's up for it, maybe you can raise your hand and say, I'll do it, I'll take the I can handle it, why don't I do it? And it might be something small. So but when the initiative starts coming from you, they'll realize, okay, yeah, she's willing to take on more work, so let's give her more work. So that initiative has, and this I've learned over the time. I thought that my bosses will realize themselves that I'm hardworking and I have a certain talent and they'll give it to me. No, that doesn't happen. No. So that I realized after a while, and I realized that you have to be more proactive, because there are other people also. So you can't keep sitting and thinking, no, they'll notice me one day and then I will be. No, it doesn't happen that way. You have to be more proactive. If you're given a job to do, you do it in a way that it gets noticed. That one break and you utilize that. And that has always worked for me. That one job I get to do and I put more effort in it, and then what happens is then a comparison happens, that they'll be like, oh, this person does this job. Like, I'll tell you a small opportunity. Like, let's say one anchor falls sick, okay, and the person has an important show, so you're brought in to anchor that show. But if the production in our channel gives a feedback saying, oh, when that person was doing the show, this was different, this was better, and this was better, then it is not, you are not undermining anyone. The feedback will go to your bosses and they will think of a substitute where you can also get an opportunity to work, So that I realized later that it happens. So when you volunteer, if I'm called in on my off day to do something, because someone has fallen sick, why don't you anger this? I'll be like, okay, fine, I'll do it. Not an issue at all. I'm there to help out. So I've never said no to coming on an off day or doing some extra work, because these are your opportunities to show what you have, what you can do. So try and push that. You have to, moreover, decide. See, and this will come from you, within you, when you actually like what you do. If you've chosen the right thing, if you actually like to market things, if you like to come up with innovative ideas to do, to how to sell this thing, how to make it reach out to people, and you like to come up with innovative ideas, you will be interested in doing it. The passion will show. If you like to, let's say, if you're a copywriter, if you like to write lines which you think are snappy, you will want to do it. तुम्हें सोते सोते याद आएगा. I was supposed to write compare. Recently we had a youth conclave which I was comparing, and there were sessions by different anchors, and I had to write an opening. Now, I was sleeping, and I don't know why, I woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and while lying down on the bed, I picked up my phone and I typed out my opening. Because it came to me at that point of time, and if I wouldn't have typed it down, I would have forgotten it. And that point of time, I thought it was something that really was good. And I wrote it down, and it turned out later on, I sat down in front of the computer after about 5 hours and I scripted it properly. But I had written down the basic gist of what I wanted to say. So if you are passionate about what you do, it will come from within you, So this is just my example of telling you that that's how it works for me. So you really need to recognize whether you are passionate or not about what you do. Next thing is, it's very simple. You don't know everything. None of us do. We all need to continue reading, and now everything is available on internet, so it's not even difficult. Continue to read, learn new things. When your colleagues are saying something, your bosses are saying something, learn. You should listen to them. You should try and pick up pointers from them. And moreover, you need to respect people. And when I say respect people, I don't mean just your bosses. You need to respect every single person who is making this institution, your organization work. Be it from the person who handed me the key card, the card which said visitor, to the person who is your boss. So you have to realize every single person has to be respected. And when you respect people, you get that respect back, So that is very important. Now, initiative I've already spoken about, that how you guys need to be more in the face of people. And creative is something which you all know that, हर काम को 2-3 तरीकों से किया जा सकता है, लेकिन आप उसे कैसे करते हैं वो important हो जाता है. That shows your creativity. So always, if a suggestion is asked or if a job, always try to think of 2-3 ways of doing it. Think about and then telling your boss that I have, even if you're not asked that what do you think we should do about it, but if you have some ideas, always drop in a mail. there's nothing wrong in it, you know. If you don't want to say it in front of people because you think that people will say, why is she speaking, it's nothing to do with her, you can always drop in a mail saying, you know, I think this is a very good idea that we are working on. I had some suggestions which if you feel they're good enough, you can use. So they're not like, you know, these are just some extra suggestions. And don't be sensitive about them, don't be touchy about them, don't be attached to them, that if they're not followed then you're all, oh Lord, what happened and I'm so hurt. No. Go ahead, give suggestions, try your best. If they're followed, great, you will feel this intense sense of achievement which will be reward enough. And if they're not, maybe next time. So always be ready for that. Now this is again another quote from an extremely beautiful person, and that is, she says, a man told me that for a woman I was very opinionated. So I said, for a man you're kind of ignorant. So again, she's being bossy and she's being, maybe some people might think that she's being rude, but if we are already down there, you know, to reach this level, we need to push extra hard. So we need to be opinionated. We need to change that basic DNA that we've always had as women. We need to be assertive. We need to be opinionated. We need to be loud. We need to show everyone that we are there. And that's the way the women I know, at least, who are in a certain position, have been there. If you meet someone like, let's say, Barkha or Sonia in my office, these are some of the people who, when they speak, can be heard by everyone in a, you know, because they're loud, they're assertive, they're opinionated. That is how they have gone forward. You know, if they were wallflowers, nobody listening to them, not saying anything, just watching everything, then they wouldn't have. Nobody would have heard them. You know, and you should always be ready to. If something wrong is being done to you, then you should be ready to fight it out also. You know, that don't take it lying down. Through the right channels, don't start shouting in the middle of your office. Through the right channels, always take up the issue. Always. And you know, if you have the talent and if you have it in you, nobody can keep you down forever. I have always believed that careers and life also in such is always you remember when we were in school in physics, we were taught the wave pattern. It's a wave pattern. It's not an arc which is going completely up all the time. There'll be always crests. These are called the crests, and then there'll be the troughs, which are the bottoms. Okay, so you'll go through that wave pattern all through your life, personally as well as professionally. So enjoy the crests, wait your time out at the troughs, try and work harder and focus on pushing up, and when you're again on the crest, try and work to keep yourself stabilized, so that furthermore you don't go into the trough, and try and at least either stabilize or go up. So always be positive. I have spent I joined NDTV in 2003. I was working in Ashtak, and we were launching our own channel. NDTV was doing Star News at that time, and I joined Star News because we were going to launch our own NDTV India and NDTV 24/7, 2 channels. And at that point of time, after that, I had a very good go for about 4 to 5 years. A very, very, I would say, very quick career graph with a very high quick progression and good jumps and good increments and good position and everything that happened. That was about for 6-7 years. It was fairly good. Then around the time when the markets had broken down, our company suffered and everything, and then there were a lot of changes in the management as well, and the new management and I didn't see eye to eye, but so obviously the career path stalled. Okay, but I didn't quit the company. I did not, because I believed in the company. I liked the company. I liked what I was doing, and I believed that one day I will get the opportunity. For a very long time, I did not even anchor news. I had started, when I started in NDTV, I had started by anchoring 8 p.m. news. But I couldn't, by the time I reached that position, I was not even anchoring news. So I said, okay, fine, it doesn't matter to me. So they told me that, why don't you do some shows? I was like, fine, I'll do that. So I started doing shows. At that point of time, I started doing a health show, and then I started doing a shopping show as well. And that became my USP. Because of that, a lot of people at that point of time recognized me because of my show called Fit Try India. And after that, there was a phase that came when English approached me, English channel, because Hindi obviously wasn't utilizing me to the maximum. So English channel approached me, and I started working for them on their, not only on their shows, on their special projects. And then I got the opportunity to start working, to travel a lot, to do special series and stuff like that. So I was working a lot for the English, and at that point of time, my channel, my bosses did not have a problem with it, because they did not want to utilize me at that point of time. So they would keep coming back and say, we need her for another 2 months to do this. And then, so it started, something clicked with my boss, so that why are they coming and asking for her again and again? And then once they gave me the opportunity, then I started working on those opportunities again. And then, and then again, in Hindi, I would say, I established myself. So it is very important, not to hold grudges about anything. You cannot be like, oh, you ignored me for 5 years, I'm not going to, now you're giving me an opportunity to do something, I will not do it. I have actually seen people do that. I have seen people being vindictive about the fact that you didn't give me something 2 years back, now you're giving it to me, I will not do it. It's fine, you won't do it, someone else will do it. So it's detrimental to your own career. So be ready and receptive for whatever you're getting, whatever work you get. Even if you feel that you've been given this work to be put down, do it in a way that shows them that you are, even that job I can do it brilliantly. So that is important for you guys. I personally feel it's your choice. Decide how much time you want to give to your personal life and your professional life, and accordingly move forward. You give 8 hours, or in our office technically we're supposed to give 10 hours. But some do, some don't, depending on whatever. So, but on an average, most offices expect 8 hours from you, include about 2 for traveling. So let's say 10 hours you spend in office, out of which at least 7 hours you'll spend sleeping. So that'll leave you with around 6, 7, I don't know, I'm very bad with maths. So only that much amount of time you will have with your family, waking hours, out of which you will spend some time getting ready and all that. So it's very important to give time to your family as well. But decide on what fronts you want to focus, and be very directed towards that. Focus on those points only. And if you work that way, and I am actually extremely, she just told me that working remotely and working from home is also an option in your office. So that is something which is exceptional, I think. You can utilize it and still try, but that is what you have to realize. If you are getting that opportunity, never abuse that opportunity. Always use that opportunity and show you it is as good as you being physically present. So I think it is a great thing that your office is the kind of an office which gives you all those opportunities. So utilize them and just be loud and assertive is what I would say. Thank you very much.